Hey everyone, welcome to the Zen of Tech. I'm Daniel, and this is the iPad Pro. This is Apple's giant tablet, or better off, this is what Apple wants to replace your laptop with. This is the Microsoft Surface Pro killer, well, at least according to Apple. Now, I've already done 4 separate videos on the iPad Pro, 5 things you need to know before buying one, I unboxing and my first impressions, and then I also reviewed both iPad Pro accessories, the iPad Pro keyboard, and the Apple Pencil in 2 separate in-depth videos. So be sure to watch those videos first before watching this one. Now, in my first impressions video, I was quite disappointed of the iPad Pro just because it didn't do anything that the other iPads couldn't already do. It was just big. But after I got the Apple Pencil and the keyboard, well, those kind of changed my mind. So I've been using this iPad Pro for 3 full months now, and yeah, as always, this is my full in-depth review. Enjoy. Okay, so starting off with the design, the iPad Pro looks exactly like a regular iPad does. Same exact design, aluminum on the back, chamfered edges. This is still one of the most premium builds you can get on a tablet, and the iPad Pro is no exception. There are only 3 visual differences between this and the other iPads. The first one being the display. It's 12.9 inches versus 9.7 inches that you get with the iPad Air 2 or 7.9 inches that you get with the iPad mini. So yeah, this thing is huge. And it's so huge that it's actually bigger than the 12-inch MacBook, almost the same size as the 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro. And when comparing it to the 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro, well, there's not that much of a difference, to be honest. So long story short, this is a huge device. But it's not just the size that's huge. If you add in the keyboard, it's actually thicker than the 12-inch MacBook. And to be honest, I couldn't even notice the weight difference between the two. So yeah, the iPad Pro is definitely not something you would want to carry around all day. The second visual difference lies on the sides. On both sides, actually. These speaker grills that we get on both the top and the bottom. We get 4 of them because, well, it has 4 speakers now. And these are hands down the best speakers I have ever heard on a tablet. They're really loud, and since they're on both sides, we finally get stereo sound. Oh, and the smart thing about them is that they all produce both high and low frequency sound. But when you're watching a movie or listening to music, the bottom ones always produce the bass. And they automatically rotate depending on the way you're holding this. So speaker-wise, I'm really impressed. And finally, the third design change is this connector, the smart keyboard connector. So just as I mentioned in my smart keyboard review, the keyboard automatically connects to the iPad Pro with this connector, which by the way is magnetic, so you never have to worry about pairing or even charging this keyboard. Now moving on to the performance, this thing is insanely powerful. It's rocking the new A9X processor along with 4 GB of RAM. Yeah, 4 GB of first in an iOS device. And just to give you an idea of how powerful this tablet is, it's more powerful than a 12-inch MacBook, more powerful than the MacBook Air, and almost as powerful as a 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro. And when I did a 4K video export test, so I shot 1 minute of 4K video with my iPhone 6s, imported that on all of my devices, and in terms of the export times, I was quite surprised. The iPad Pro easily defeated a 12-inch MacBook, the 11-inch Air as well, even a 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro by the way, and it was only just a few seconds slower than my 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro. So the A9X is almost as powerful as a quad-core Haswell i7 2.2 GHz processor, and that's just crazy. Oh, and the iPad Pro even has desktop class flash storage of up to 600 megabytes per second. So importing and working with 4K files is crazy fast and fluid. So the performance is there, but that's it. There's nothing to take full advantage of it. Yes, you have iMovie and you can edit 4K videos on this thing, but 1, the iPad Pro doesn't even shoot 4K videos, by the way. It has the same camera as the iPad Air 2, so if you want to edit 4K videos, you'll need to import them from a camera. Then 2, if you import them from a camera, then you'll also need a Lightning to SD card adapter. And not all cameras are supported, by the way, so your best bet is to use the 4K videos that you shot with your iPhone 6s, which means that, yeah, you need an iPhone 6s as well. So yeah, getting 4K footage on your iPad Pro is a bit tricky, but let's say that you've done that, you now have a 4K video that you took on your smartphone or on your camera. The third issue is, well, the storage. The baseline iPad Pro only comes with 32 gigabytes of storage. 32 gigabytes is completely unusable for serious work, especially video editing. And the next model, the 128 gigabytes one, that's $950, and that's without the accessories. And then who would actually edit a 4K video on a tablet in iMovie, the mobile version of iMovie. I mean, come on. So even though the performance is there, there's nothing to take full advantage of it. Except for iMovie, there's nothing that even makes the iPad Pro overheat. No pro apps pre-installed on this. Nada. The iPad Pro is like a Lamborghini driven by a kid or baby. Either way, the engine is never used to its full potential. But these are things that I've already mentioned in my first impressions video, and what really convinced me that the iPad Pro is actually pretty good, actually really useful in some situations, was this. The Apple Pencil. I mean, this thing is just crazy. Almost no visible lag. There's also tons of apps that take full advantage of it now, and you can even use this thing as a Wacom tablet, so as a graphics tablet for Photoshop on your desktop. Of course, if you're willing to pay the extra for AstroPad, which is the app that allows you to do that. And because of all this, the iPad Pro is perfect for graphic designers. You can start working on your iPad and then continue working from your desktop, or you can use AstroPad and work entirely from the iPad Pro. And the Apple Pencil combined with the iPad Pro has less input lag than any other graphic tablet out there. Oh, and once again, I did 2 separate in-depth reviews for both the Apple Pencil and the Apple keyboard, and I'll have them linked in the description box down below. Okay, so overall, is the iPad Pro worth it? And my answer is still no. Why? Well, first off, it's really expensive for what it can do. If you add in the accessories, you're actually paying just over $1,200 for it. That's much more expensive than both MacBook Air models, even more expensive than a 12-inch MacBook, and just $80 cheaper than a 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro, on which you can actually, do stuff. Yes, you can run 2 apps side by side at the same time, but now with iOS 9, you can also do that on the iPad Air 2 and the iPad Mini 4 as well. So, it's not something exclusive to the iPad Pro. So for example, I would really love to use this as a secondary touchscreen monitor for my iMac, or use it as a graphics tablet for my computer, but unfortunately I cannot do any of these things without buying some third-party apps. So there's no pro software built into the iPad Pro. Everything you need, well, you'll have to buy it separately. Also, there's no 3D touch on the iPad Pro like we have with the iPhone 6s, so if you need that, you'll have to wait for the next generation iPad Pro. And one more thing that I want to mention is the battery life. You do get about 10 hours of battery life, just like Apple says. However, when you're using the Apple Pencil, the battery life drains like crazy. One day I had 10% battery life and I used the Apple Pencil to scribble down some notes quickly, and in less than 10 minutes my iPad was completely dead. Well, asleep, not dead. It wasn't broken. So in the end, is this the laptop replacement, the Surface Pro killer that Apple wanted it to be? No. Apple tried making this the ultimate ultrabook killer, but in the end, this sucks as a tablet because it's too huge to be carried around all day. Unless you want to use it as a Netflix device, but then again, it doesn't have any built-in stand, so you'll be holding it like this all day. That's unless you decide to buy the 140 pound smart keyboard, which only has one angle, by the way. So it sucks as a tablet, and it also sucks as a laptop, just because its performance is heavily limited by both the operating system and the available apps. If you really need a 2-in-1, your best option is still Microsoft Surface. It runs a desktop operating system, so you can take full advantage of all apps that you need, and yeah, it's actually cheaper. But on the other hand, if you're a graphic designer and you can afford a 128GB iPad Pro plus an Apple Pencil, which would be just over $1,000 or 880 pounds, I mean, in that case, there's literally no better option than an iPad Pro. This is the heaven for graphic designers. So if creating art and graphics is something you do on a daily basis, then this is going to make your life much easier. But for the rest of us, you're better off with a smaller tablet or a laptop. And there you go, this was my full in-depth review of the iPad Pro. Once again, if you haven't seen the other 4 videos, especially the accessory reviews, the Apple Pencil review and the Apple keyboard review, feel free to watch those videos now because they complete this review. So yeah, feel free to give this video a huge like if you have enjoyed it. Videos like this take a really long time to make, so every like is really appreciated. Oh, and fun fact, for every minute of video you're watching, there's about 30 minutes you haven't seen. Should I do a behind the scenes video one day, or a setup tour, or both? I don't know, but do let me know in the comment section down below. Also let me know in the comment section down below, what do you personally think about the iPad Pro? Would it be useful for you? Would you actually get one? Where and how would you use it? Definitely let me know. Also feel free to subscribe to my channel, Zone of Tech, if you want to see more videos like this one. And yeah, this has been pretty much it. So thank you for watching this video. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you in my next one. Zone of Tech, signing out.